It's Steve Morgan here for Fishing Monthly magazines, and I'm lucky enough to have caught up with the latest version of Hobie Kayak's national champion on the brim, and that's Stewie Dunn from south of Sydney. Stewie, welcome and congratulations.
Thank you, Steve.
It was a very tense race. Like Lake Macquarie is an arena that us powerboaters we're pretty familiar with. You know, there's not too many parts of the lake that you can't get to within 10 or 15 minutes at wide open throttle. But scale it back down to a kayak, which only goes a fraction of the speed, and it becomes a very interesting arena, doesn't it?
It did. It's an absolutely huge arena. I mean, Mark Compton, that came second, said usually in a comp he would fish the whole lake. Whereas this comp, you really got to pick a spot and fish it, because if you change your mind and want to cross the lake, it's 20 minutes.
You betcha.
You change your mind again, and that's another 20 minutes. And yeah, it's really, time constraints are pretty tough.
Now let's have a look at the results. You won the grand final by catching 6 out of a possible 8 fish, which was by the look of it was a limit of 4 on the first day for 1.98 kilos. But then on the second day, you only brought 2 of your 4 fish limit in, but they look like some great fish. Can you tell us what your thoughts were, maybe paddling in on that second day with only 2 out of 4?
I didn't think I was anywhere near it. I figured I had 2 good fish. I figured I would need another one of at least the same sort of size, another 700 grammer at least, to get me back in the race. So, even in that last few hours when I was fishing, I was still really confident. I still felt really good. So, in a good mood, just fishing away. Although I was happy, but I didn't think I was in it. So I came back and thought, maybe I could scrape a top 10.
Yeah. Oh well, look, as an organiser of many tournaments for over a decade, I've seen weights drop on the second day, and especially if the weather isn't conducive. And with that kayak tournament, like you don't have 50 people in all parts of the lake. You've got 50 people within basically 6 or 7 kilometres of Rafferty's resort there. So the available spots get a heavy pressure, and we all know what brim do when the pressure gets heavy. So, mate, look, can we just run through your techniques? Because I know that everyone listening to this, they all want to know the tackle and the rod and reel and lure and your magic spot, really. So can you take a bit of time and take us through what your setup was and how you used it?
No worries. Well, because it was so still, I chose to use a lock 7'6" Yoshi, a long rod just to get really, really long casts in. I think that's a key when it's so classed out and still.
Yep.
And I also I didn't sit on the edge like a lot of the guys were doing. If it was windy, those guys would have smashed me. There's no question.
Yep.
But it wasn't. So I sat a bit deeper. I sat where the weed kind of thinned out and got a bit patchy, and you lost that clarity. You couldn't see the bottom anymore. And I think the fish feel a little bit safer when they can't be seen from above. So
yep.
I stuck to a little hump that came from 3.5 metres up to 2.5. And day one, I hit it early and I pulled a fish really quick. And then I went looking for deep spots. And I didn't pin anything in the deep in the first session, at the start anyway. So I went back to that spot where I started in 2.5 metres, and I bagged out pretty quick, which was good.
Yes.
And then in the last hour, I went and just bladed out the front in 7 metres and got an upgrade. So it gave me a backup plan, especially for day 2.
Yep. And this spot you're fishing, was it what, the drop off at the end of the Swansea Flats there? I know those Swansea Flats are close to Rafferty's and would have been a popular spot. Was it near a popular spot but just a little bit away, or was it in a totally different area?
It certainly wasn't too popular. It was straight across the other bank from where we launched.
Yep.
So up along that point towards Wollstonecraft.
Yes.
And it was a point that's a bit shallower than the rest of the points, and it's got a bit of a finger that runs out for about 200 metres of weed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good. And as you say, you could probably see the event site for the entire tournament if you're only fishing that close.
I could, definitely.
Let's talk about lines. In that lake, there's not a lot of tidal flow, and of course it's all wind related. As soon as the wind blows, the fish bite. So did you have to scale down your line size to buy some bites?
I definitely did on the second day. On the first day, I was running 6-pound sunline braid with a 4-pound sunline FC leader. On the second day, I actually changed rods a lot. As I got shallower, I fished a different rod with a lighter leader.
Yep. So still a braid leader setup?
Still braid and leader, yeah. I always do that. I like the feel. A lot of people like those straight through. I don't know. I don't like it.
You like feeling the lure, the action. So let's run through the Australian champion winning lures. What baits did you have on the end of it?
Well, it was pretty much 2 lures. It was OSP Do Love Crawls, rigged on either a 1/12 or a 1/20th.
Yep.
And the same again with a Pro Lure Motor Oil Grub.
And that's just a simple single-tailed lure, isn't it? It's nothing rocket science about the single-tail grub.
Nothing amazing about it, except that my mate Luke Kay, who's on their team, seems to often get keggers on it. So
yeah,
watching him do it all the time, you have to pay attention, you know.
You betcha. Now, how many of these the Hobie Australian Championships have you fished now, Stewie?
All of them.
All of them. So that's half a dozen. And what's the closest you've got? You've obviously won this one. Have you got close in the past?
I think I've been in the top 5 before. I think at Foster, I might have come 5th.
Yep.
I've had a few top 10s. I know that much. But I certainly not this close to the pointy end.
Now, explain. I was lucky enough to be watching the live stream, and the Hobie's live stream is great. It gives you the scoreboard. It gives you the vision of what's happening there, and with Steve Fields commenting. I saw Mark Crompton weigh in and fall ever so close to knocking your bag off. At what point did you think you had him when he walked up? Could you sort of guess what he had in his bag, or did you think you were done?
Oh, definitely. I definitely didn't think I had him. Me, Mark, and Richie were all very close, and at Bum Tub we were there together, and each of us thought someone else had it. I mean, I thought Richie, then Mark, then me.
Yep.
I think Richard thought Cromo, then maybe me, then him, and then Cromo thought Richie. I don't know. We're all... None of us... I've never seen a weigh-in where no one thinks they're going to win.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but there was no one there to swoop. There was only you guys left there, and at the end you had done it, if you pardon the pun.
I do.
So I suppose now that you've ticked that one off, I suppose the next aim for you must be to get to the Hobie Worlds and whack that one on the mantelpiece. Is that the next aim?
That would be pretty nice. Hobie did such a good job at those big events. They're more than a fishing comp. They're just I don't know, it's just like a weekend extravaganza.
It is, isn't it? No, I do agree that Hobie run the best fishing events that I've ever been and ever seen to, and this is for people that run tournaments here. He does a fantastic job, and what did you think of Rafferty's, the resort where it was based? It's a great place to be social as well as catch fish, isn't it?
Oh, it was awesome. The accommodation there was great. The food was good. It was nice and easy. Yeah, fantastic.
Now, as Australian champion now, and you're going to have this title for the next 12 months, give us a bit of advice to people that want to come into this into the kayak fishing fraternity and fish some of the tournaments. I know you guys are a pretty approachable group of fellas. If there's someone sitting on the edge wondering if they should have a go at it or maybe leave it, what's your advice to them?
Of course they should have a go. It's not as daunting or as hard as it looks. I remember my first comp, Steve, was Sydney Harbour, the very first comp we did.
Yeah.
I wasn't very good, that's for sure. I knew how to throw poppers, I knew how to throw a plastic at a bow hole, and I knew how to fish snags, but I didn't know anything else. I knew nothing about flat fishing or fishing deep or a lot of things that guys are really good at. And it blew up, and I was left with one trick. All I could do was throw poppers, and I managed to go really well. So, yeah, as long as you're keen, you'll go well and you'll learn a lot. I've learned so much doing this. It's been incredible.
Now, one final question that I've got is, of course, Hobie provide identical craft for each of the people that are fishing these national championships and, in fact, the world titles. Just run us through that kayak that they give everyone to fish in. It's a pretty flash bit of gear, isn't it?
It is. It's amazing gear. So it's a Hobie Pro Angler 14.
Yep.
A really big, stable kayak. I use a small kayak a lot, so I jumped on that the other day, and I was with my mate Luke in the practice. You can jump around on it. They're so stable. It's incredible.
Yeah, stand up and fish, can't you, basically?
Yeah, well, that's how I do fish. I don't like sitting down, to be honest.
Yep.
I like getting a little bit of a longer cast in. So stand up and fish. We got we had the Lowrance Elite 4 HDI chirps.
Yep.
Which were great. You mark fish all day, see where you've been, go back to the exact same spot, do another drift. Really, really important.
Yeah, especially for yours where you're fishing structure that you can't see. You have to find that on the sounder, don't you?
Exactly. And that's what I did. Once I found it, I marked out. I put like about 5 marks marking out the edge of it, and I just kept working that kind of area. And without that setup, I couldn't have done it.
That's great.
And the new live wells were awesome. I had them running all day, both days, and fish come out beautifully.
No, look,
really good.
And I think that is a reaction to the fact that in most of the boater comps we run 5 fish limits, but in the older, smaller Hobie live wells are putting 5 big bream, especially ones that guys catch down in East Gippsland, is a little bit crowded in there. So this has been a response to that, and they worked a treat apparently.
They do. They're amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, well, look, Stewie, congratulations. Thanks very much for taking the time to have a chat to us, and we hope you're an inspiration to all of the anglers that are maybe sitting on the sidelines thinking, should I have a go at this kayak fishing tournament gig? Well, of course, you and I both agree that best way to learn is to jump in there and have a go, and like yourself, 5 or 6 years later, you never know, you could be sitting there holding that Australian champion title. So thanks for taking the time to have a chat to us, Stewie.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Steve.
Cheers, mate.
See ya.